Hey everyone, welcome back to DevCraft Projects. In today's video, we're building a responsive Accordion FAQ section using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This type of FAQ layout is super useful on websites where users need quick answers, and it looks clean, interactive, and professional. We'll learn how to show and hide answers with smooth transitions, how to switch between plus and minus icons, and how to make sure only one answer is open at a time. And as always, I'll explain each line of code step by step, so even if you're a beginner, you'll be able to follow along and understand everything clearly. So let's get started. Alright, let's set up our project. First, I've created a new folder and named it FAQ section. You can name yours the same to stay consistent. Then, I open this folder in Visual Studio Code. Inside this folder, I created 3 files: index.html. This will hold all the HTML structure for our FAQ section, style.css, where we'll add all the design and styling, and script.js, where we'll write our JavaScript logic to make it interactive. I'm not using live server just yet. I'll open it later once the basic HTML is complete so we can see it working step by step. Now let's jump into the HTML. Let's start with the HTML. I added the basic boilerplate by using the shortcut Shift+1. That gives me the full HTML5 structure. Then I changed the title to Accordion FAQ section. Next, I linked my CSS file like this. And I also wanted to use some icons for the plus and minus buttons, so I searched Font Awesome CDN link on Google, clicked on the first result, and copied the latest CDN link into my head section. This allows us to use the Font Awesome icons directly in our HTML. Now let's create the structure for our accordion. First, I created a div with a class of container and added a heading with the class title inside it, frequently asked questions. Inside the hashtag question box's div, I'm adding a new div with the class question box. This will hold each individual FAQ item. Inside that, I'll create another div with the class question. This section will contain our question text and the toggle icons, the plus and minus icons. So first, I'll add an h3 tag and simply type 01 as a placeholder. I'll replace this with the real question later. Next to the h3, I'll create a new div with the class buttons. Inside this buttons div, I'll paste 2 icons from Font Awesome. The first icon is the plus icon, and the second one is the minus icon, which will show and hide using JavaScript later. To get these icons, I went to the Font Awesome website, searched for plus in the search bar, copied the I tag, and pasted it here. Then I searched for minus and copied its I tag too. Super easy. Below this question section, I'm adding a p tag, just writing details, for now as a placeholder answer. So our structure for one FAQ item is now ready. Now, instead of repeating the whole thing from scratch, I'll simply duplicate this entire question box 3 times. This saves time and keeps the structure consistent. Once duplicated, I'll replace each placeholder content with real questions and answers. For example, the first one becomes, "What is JavaScript?" And in the paragraph, I'll write a short definition of JavaScript. The second question becomes, "Why do we use JavaScript?" And I'll explain its purpose in the answer. And the third one becomes, "What are JavaScript's benefits?" I'll add a few key advantages in the paragraph. Now we've completed the HTML part of our FAQ section. We've got a clean structure with headings, toggle buttons, and answers. At the very end of my HTML, just before the closing body tag, I linked my JavaScript file, script.js. Finally, I'll right-click anywhere in my HTML file and choose Open with Live Server. This will launch our FAQ page in the browser. And as you can see, the structure is looking good. We have all 3 questions showing up, the plus minus icons are in place, and the basic layout is complete. Now in the next step, we'll move on to styling this with CSS and later, make the accordion interactive using JavaScript. Alright, let's start styling our FAQ section with CSS. The first thing I'm doing is importing a custom Google font. So I went to my browser, searched for Poppins Google Fonts, opened the first link, and from there, I copied the import line for the Poppins font. This line makes the Poppins fonts available to use throughout our CSS. Step 2. Universal reset. Next, I added a universal selector using the asterisk symbol. This is a common practice to remove any default spacing added by the browser and make sure all elements are sized consistently using box sizing border box. Now let's style the body element. I'm using Flexbox to center everything both vertically and horizontally. Height 100 VH means the body takes up the full height of the screen. And for the background, I've added a beautiful linear gradient that goes from a dark green to a light mint color, just to make it visually appealing. This sets up the base for our FAQ section. Everything is now centered and ready for the main content. Now let's style the main container that holds all our FAQ content. Width 40% makes the container take up 40% of the page's width. Keeps the layout nice and compact in the center. Background color semi-transparent black background, adding a subtle glass effect. Padding 2 rem from top and bottom and 1 rem from left and right creates space inside the box. More padding vertically than horizontally. Border radius 2 rem rounds all the corners to make it smooth and modern. I also added a light white border using border 1px solid, and a soft glowing box shadow to lift the container off the background slightly. Next, I styled the heading using the title class, a light gray color so it stands out clearly, the Poppins font we imported earlier, a bold font weight 700 for emphasis, and center alignment to keep it perfectly aligned within the container. With these styles, our FAQ section is starting to look clean, centered, and easy to read. Now let's move on to styling the individual question blocks in our FAQ section. First, styling the question boxes. This just adds a bit of space on top of the whole question box area so it's not sticking to the title. Now comes the most important part, the clickable question section. Display Flex aligns the question text and icons side by side. Justify content, space between pushes the question text to the left and the icons to the right. Align item center makes sure everything stays vertically centered. Background color white gives each question a white background to stand out from the container. Padding and border give spacing and subtle separation. Border radius 1 rem again softens the edges. We set the font to Poppins with a medium bold weight 500 and a clean size. Position relative and z-index 1 help in case we need to manage layering later. Transition all 0.5 seconds ease adds smooth animation when we hover. And finally, cursor pointer makes it clear to the user that this is clickable. Now adding hover effect. When you hover over a question, the background turns into a slightly transparent white. This small effect helps the user visually understand that they can click it. So now each FAQ block looks clean, interactive, and ready for toggling. Now styling the toggle icon size. Here we're targeting the buttons container which holds the plus and minus icons. We're increasing the font size slightly to make the icons more visible and interactive. Now hide the minus icon by default. By default, we only want to show the plus icon on page load. The minus icon will only appear when the answer is expanded, and we'll toggle this using JavaScript later. Now style the paragraph answer. This paragraph is the hidden answer text under each question. Maximum height 0 and overflow hidden ensures the answer stays invisible at first. We use a small font size and the Poppins font for consistency. Padding 0.1 rem and 1 rem adds minimal spacing, but we'll increase it later when the answer is shown. Opacity 0 makes the text fully transparent. And finally, we apply a transition to both maximum height and opacity. This gives a smooth slide-down animation when the answer appears. Now add the show class for animation. Now when we add the show class through JavaScript, max height increases allowing the content to fully expand. Padding increases to give it breathing room. And opacity becomes 1, making the answer fully visible. This is how we create that clean accordion animation without any complex logic in CSS. Everything happens with one class toggle. With this, we've completed the entire styling of our FAQ accordion section. We have a beautiful container, interactive question cards, plus, minus icons, and smooth animations for each answer. Alright, Now that our HTML and CSS are complete, let's move on to the JavaScript to make our FAQ section interactive. Step 1. Select all FAQ boxes. Here, I'm creating a variable called FAQs. Document refers to the entire HTML document. Query selector all selects every single element on the page that has the class question box. Since we have multiple FAQ items, query selector all returns a node list, which is kind of like an array of all those elements. Now, our FAQs variable holds a list of all FAQ boxes on the page. Step 2. Loop through each FAQ box. Here, I'm using the dot for each method to loop through each FAQ box one by one. For each individual item, I'm using the name FAQ as a placeholder variable. This means, for every single FAQ box in the list, do something. Step 3. Add a click event listener. Inside the loop, I'm using FAQ.addEventListener click to attach a click event to each question box. This means whenever a user clicks on any FAQ box, the function inside will run. And what's inside? We're calling another function called toggleFAQ. We're passing the clicked FAQ box as an argument, so the function knows which box was clicked. This setup allows us to listen for a click on any question and run our toggle logic dynamically based on which question was clicked. Step 4. Writing the toggleFAQ function. We already called this function in the previous step when an FAQ was clicked. Here I'm creating a new arrow function named toggleFAQ. It takes one parameter FAQ, which represents the specific FAQ box that was clicked. This function will handle the open and close logic for the selected question, and also make sure all others are closed. Step 5. Loop through all FAQ boxes. Inside the function, we're again looping through all the FAQ boxes using dot for each. We're naming the current item in the loop other FAQ, which simply means each FAQ box on the page. Step 6. Check if it's not the clicked box. Here comes a condition. We want to skip the box that the user just clicked on, because we'll handle that separately. So this if statement checks, is this not the clicked box? If it's not, we go inside and collapse it. Step 7. Select inner elements. Now, inside every unclicked FAQ box, we're selecting three things. Other answer, the p tag that contains the actual answer. Other plus, the plus icon inside this box. Other minus, the minus icon inside this box. We're using query selector on other FAQ to only search within that specific box. Step 8. Collapse the other FAQ box. This removes the show class from the p tag, which hides the answer using the CSS transition. Step 9. Show plus icon, hide minus icon. Here we're making sure the plus icon is visible and the minus icon is hidden. This visually resets the FAQ back to its original closed state. After collapsing all the other FAQ boxes, now we need to toggle the one that was actually clicked. Step 10. Select elements inside the clicked FAQ. We're using query selector to grab the p tag inside the clicked FAQ. This holds the answer text. Then we grab the plus icon using FA circle plus. And we grab the minus icon using FA circle minus. All of these are scoped only inside the clicked box, represented by the FAQ parameter passed to our function. Step 11. Check if the answer is already shown. This if statement checks, does this answer already have the show class? If it does, that means the answer is currently visible. In that case, we want to hide it now. Step 12. Hide the answer and reset icons. We remove the show class from the answer p, which hides it with the CSS transition. Then we show the plus icon by setting its display to inline. And we hide the minus icon by setting its display to none. This collapses the FAQ back into its original closed state. Else, show the answer. Now if the answer wasn't already visible, For example, the show class wasn't present. This block runs, meaning we're going to show the clicked answer. Step 13. Show the answer and switch icons. Adds the show class to the P, which makes the answer expand using the CSS transition, then hides the plus icon and shows the minus icon. So visually, the answer slides down and the icon switches to minus. Smooth scroll to the open box. This is a super nice touch. We're using the built-in scroll into view method on the FAQ box. Behavior: smooth makes the scroll smooth and animated. Block: center scrolls the clicked box into the center of the screen. This helps if the user clicked on a FAQ far down the page. It smoothly scrolls to that question so they can read the answer comfortably. And that's it. We've successfully built a clean and fully functional Accordion FAQ section using just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. As you can see, everything works exactly how we wanted. Clicking on a question smoothly opens the answer, the plus and minus icons toggle perfectly, and only one answer is visible at a time, giving it a polished, professional feel. In this project, we learned how to build a fully functional accordion using real-world JavaScript skills. Write clean, reusable logic to toggle elements, show hide content, and manipulate the DOM effectively. And control user interaction by combining classless toggling, event listeners, and icon switching, all in pure JavaScript. If you enjoyed building this project with me, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more beginner-friendly JavaScript tutorials. I reply to every comment and love hearing your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Keep coding, keep building. I'll see you in the next project.